Well, good afternoon and welcome everyone. Today's review has now brought us here for a much more up-close and personal encounter with the newly revised and refinished 2014 Hyundai Genesis Coupe 3.8 Ultimate. And now, with all of that being said, this is going to be a complete and in-depth review of the Genesis Coupe, and this does entail a complete startup and overview of the engine, as well as a good look at many of the unique and notable styling cues and multiple features, technologies, and creature comforts that now make up this newly rejuvenated second coming of what is considered to be the fastest and most loaded out version of Hyundai's signature two-door sports car. And so, bearing all that new information in mind, let's go ahead and climb aboard and we'll check it out. To begin with, our fully loaded 3.8 Ultimate tester today is wearing the Caspian Black Metallic exterior, and as standard equipment on most of the Genesis Coupe line, including 2.0 turbo and 3.8 liter models, is Hyundai's standard proximity key system. Only the R-Spec version and some of the more premium, more track-ready models of this vehicle do not come with this system. However, this key fob here provides complete remote-free access into the vehicle along with a standard push-button ignition. Gaining entry into the Genesis Coupe is as simple as having the key fob anywhere on your person, such as I have it here in my pocket. And as you just saw, just a moment ago, we just unlocked the Genesis Coupe. And both the locking and unlocking is done through the small black square button hidden fleshly into the two door handles. Both locking and unlocking, you just press it once. One beep indicates that the vehicle's locked, hit it again. And two beeps indicate that the vehicle's now unlocked. And also when you open the door, the vehicle's window will actually lower just a tad to allow a little bit easier entry into the vehicle. And beautifully complementing the depth and shine of this Caspian Black Metallic exterior, our particular vehicle's interior has been fully upholstered in the standard black premium perforated leather. Now to start this Genesis Coupe with the proximity key fob is very simple. All you have to do is have the standard key fob anywhere within the vehicle, then put your foot on the brake, then simply locate and hit the beautiful gloss black engine start button in the dash to fire up the engine. And the moment you do, you instantly supply power to that beautiful 3.8 liter gasoline direct injected V6. Now to kind of keep in theme with the track-ready nature of our 3.8 liter model, some of Hyundai's features included in this vehicle are a little bit more basic than you might find on a more premium sports car. For example, they've gone with a more basic hydraulic power-assisted steering, which is very tight, nice and heavy, and definitely provides an excellent amount of feedback between the steering wheel and also the front wheels. In our case today, it's a full leather-trimmed 3-spoke steering wheel with nice bolstering grip extensions up top, nice accents of dark painted silver here at the lower portion of the wheel, your beautiful soft grain airbag cover, and all your different buttons for all your electronic creature comforts throughout the vehicle. Now, depending on which trim level you get, you actually have choice of 2 separate transmissions for the 3.8 liter version of the Genesis Coupe. In our Ultimate today, we have the optional electronically controlled Shift-tronic 8-speed automatic transmission with available downshift rev matching specific only to the Genesis Coupe, as well as Shift-tronic manual shifting capabilities in the little selected portion just to the left-hand portion of the drive portion of the shifter. Now also, the vehicle can be added with a 6-speed manual transmission in either the R-Spec model or the Ultimate model for a more basic feel. However, R-Spec models only are the 6-speed manual transmission, and if you were to go for the 3.8 Grand Touring, it's only available with the Shift-tronic 8-speed automatic. Now, even though our vehicle today does have this high-definition 7-inch touchscreen display up top, it does not come with a reverse backup camera. Instead, however, it does have a series of parking sensors that line the rear end of the vehicle that activate once you put the car in reverse. You can hear a small chime that lets you know. And although it doesn't have any sort of display up here on the screen that lets you know, if you're getting too close to something, it does change the sort of tone as you're backing up towards an object, say a pole or another vehicle, to let you know sort of your trajectory between you and that object. Also, as you can hear, the Genesis Coupe comes standard with electronic child protective safety locks, which automatically lock the vehicle once the car is put into gear, and will only unlock the vehicle once the car is put back into park and it's safe to exit the vehicle. Beautiful leather stitched e-brake handle here, and a nice soft, yet very lightweight feel. Also, if you wish to take control of the gears manually and do not wish to use the signature portion to the left-hand portion of the drive part of the shifter, you can also use the large silver paddle shifters mounted here on the back of the steering wheel, using the right one here to shift up and the left one here to shift down, each of which is labeled with its own plus and minus accordingly. They're nice and large, with nice little ribbed backings to allow for a little bit better gripping capabilities when driving this vehicle, say, around a track or so on, and allowing for a little bit easier access to the paddle shifters themselves. And in natural fashion, being only a 2-door, both the windows on this vehicle are fully automatic in both directions. And once you close the door to the Genesis Coupe with the proximity key fob in your possession, you can hear the vehicle emits a rather elongated exterior chime to let you know it's lost detection of the proximity key fob. Now, just like the previous generation of the Genesis Coupe, this version for 2013 and 2014 can only come with 2 available power plants. As we looked at before, the Genesis Coupe more basic models can come with a 2-liter dual overhead cam, 16-valve, turbocharged and intercooled inline 4-cylinder engine, which now produces a healthy 274 horsepower and 275 pound-feet of torque. However, for our fully loaded 3.8 Ultimate tester today, we have the much more robust version of an engine that was actually put into some of Hyundai's bigger cars before they refined it for this vehicle. Raising the hood of our tester model today, we find Hyundai's all-new 3.8 liter dual overhead cam, 24-valve, gasoline direct fuel injected V6, again equipped with dual continuous variable valve timing. However, in this case, unlike the old Lambda Series V6, which produced 306 horsepower, this new monster cranks out almost 350 horsepower, an official estimate of 348 to be exact, cranking out 295 pound-feet of torque, and combined with a Torsen limited slip rear differential and almost a 3,500 pound curb weight, and this 3.8 liter coupe can sprint to 60 miles per hour in a brisk 5.3 seconds at a top speed well in excess of 155 miles per hour. Now, EPA fuel economy estimates on regular and premium unleaded gasoline is 16 miles per gallon city and 25 miles per gallon on the interstate highway if equipped with the 8-speed automatic, and equipped with the 6-speed manual, it really doesn't change much, as it scores 16 miles per gallon city and 24 miles per gallon on the interstate highway. And now how about we wake up that 3.8 liter V6 and see what kind of soundtrack she produces. beautiful, smooth V6 power plant with an absolutely brutal exhaust note. And with all of that being done, let's go ahead and turn on the headlights. You do have the option of them being automatic, as well as turn on the fog lights and the hazard lights as usual. And now let's take this brief opportunity to take a walk around of the exterior of the Genesis Coupe. Now, anyone who has really been watching Hyundai over the past few years pretty much knows that they are now known for changing up the game in so many dramatic ways. In 2010, Hyundai debuted their all-new Genesis Coupe, a two-door premium version of their high-quality Genesis sedan, which came out around 2008. However, at the same time, they wanted the Genesis Coupe to not only represent what the company could do in terms of a mid-sized sports car, but at the same time, they really wanted to flex their strong arm and take a stab at creating a high-performance sports car as well. Hence, the Genesis Coupe was born, and in 2013, they updated the vehicle once again, with all new styling cues for the front, rear, and even powertrain options. They also included a lot of other things that may be found standard on a lot of other Hyundai vehicles. For example, here at the front, we have these beautiful black and chrome bezeled high-intensity discharge projector beam headlights. We also have LED daytime running lights, as accenting the top part of these standard fog lights on the 3.8 liter model. You can see a whole new revised look to the whole front fascia, a much wider front grille, and a much more smiley, kind of happy appearance to the front end of the vehicle versus a little bit more of the sort of constrained look of the previous generation. Now on our 3.8 liter tester today, we have the upgraded set of gunmetal finished 19-inch forged aluminum alloy wheels, wrapped in high-performance summer tires, and also, as you can see, hiding behind these 19-inch wheels is a standard ventilated Brembo braking system as standard on 3.8 liter models. See the beautiful snarling vents sitting out of the top of the hood. Intermittently timed rain sensing wipers. Monochromatic LED turn signal equipped mirrors. Our particular tester today also has a one-touch power folding and sliding sunroof. Here at the back of the Genesis Coupe, you can see factory LED taillights. As was stated in our review of the 2-liter model of this vehicle, it almost looks like it's got a pair of angry eyes that are looking back at you. This really kind of aggressive style to the back of the taillight, despite being a very swooping, very beautiful and curvaceous piece overall. You can see standard on the track model is that rather large rear extended spoiler. You can also see here on the rear bumper of the vehicle those parking assist sensors, which I told you about before. Also that beautiful triangular dual exhaust down below. Standard rear heating, defrosting glass. Up top you can see the shark fin style antenna. It's not only a natural radio antenna, but it's also for the Sirius XM satellite radio as standard equipment. It's an absolutely monstrous looking beast. And now that we've had a good look around the exterior of the 3.8 Genesis Coupe, let's take a better look at what changes have been made to the interior. As stated previously, our particular tester today is sporting the full black perforated leather interior. There are plentiful amounts of other colors for the Genesis Coupe's interior, including sort of a cinnamon brown, standard only on Grand Touring models, and also things like black, beige, and also red. And even though this vehicle is pretty much the most loaded thing you have on the market, it does have plentiful amounts of standard powered amenities, including power mirrors, power door locks, automatic one-touch driver and passenger window in both directions, along with your power trunk release, your power fuel cap release, and down here on the door you can see a little label that says Infinity. Now because this is the Ultimate, it comes standard with a 360 watt, 10 speaker premium Infinity audio system, which we'll hear here in a moment. Down here on the door sill, you can see these fully illuminated turned silver sill plates. You can see sort of that bright blue illumination inside. The driver's seat does have a power sliding driver's seat with powered lumbar support. However, it has manual recline, not a full power seat, and kind of surprised about that. And once you step inside the 3.8 liter Ultimate trim level, you'll immediately notice quite a difference between some of the more basic trim levels of the same vehicle. There are still quite a lot of things in this car that are pretty much the same across the board, depending on whether you go with a 2 liter turbo or the 3.8 liter model. But in this 3.8 Ultimate, you pretty much have, well, the Ultimate package. Every single toy in the book available for the Genesis Coupe. Starting at what's in front of you, you have these beautiful blue and red illuminated electroluminescent gauges with your standard LCD display right here in the middle, and you can access everything through the trip meter over on the left-hand side of the gauge cluster. You can see distance to empty, average fuel economy, average speed, average time driven the vehicle, and you can also reset everything just using the reset button just below. Now, as far as what's here on the steering wheel, over here on the left, you have your volume controls and radio modes, the availability to mute the radio, and also the voice command system for the Bluetooth Bluetooth system. You also have your hands-free Bluetooth buttons on the lower right-hand side of the steering wheel, and also your cruise control buttons up here on the upper right-hand spoke. Now, as far as the center console, you may notice a difference between the 2 liter model that we looked at, and if you haven't looked at it, feel free to browse for it. But you'll notice that this one has the high-definition 7-inch touchscreen display. Now, unfortunately, this one doesn't have the SD card in it, but it's pretty much all the same features that you would get in Hyundai's standard navigation system. You have things like map, different destinations, routes, hands-free phone, vehicle information, such as your XM satellite data, Hyundai Blue Link, which is like Hyundai's version of OnStar or anything else you can think of, like an emergency system. Hands-free phone. You can pair your phone and everything like that to the vehicle. And like I said, this one has the 10-speaker, 360-watt Infinity Premium audio system. You can see this one also does have the XM satellite radio, as said before. So we can turn it to a good station here. Also down here, aside from the AM, FM, and satellite radio buttons, you also have your Seek Track button, your different media buttons, so that's like your iPod, auxiliary, and USB, which is down here, just hidden inside this little compartment at the bottom of the center console. And also, vehicle setup. So this is like your sound, your displays, hands-free phone, your navigation setup, active traffic and weather updates. You can get a different picture frame. You can see it has different screensavers built in. You can turn the display off, a system update, and so on and so forth. Now, like the 2-liter model we looked at as well, you've got these 3 separate gauges down here in the middle of the center console. However, one of them has actually changed. Instead of a boost meter, being that this is a naturally aspirated engine, you now have a full torque meter here in the center. As you can see, it goes all the way up to 300 pound-feet of torque. Like I said, this one's got 295, so you'll pretty much max it out if you were to floor it. Now over here on the left, you have your fuel consumption meter, goes all the way over, and this is your 0, so if you go 30, 20, 10, so it's an active fuel economy meter that's non-digital. And you also have your standard oil temperature meter over here on the far right. Got your hazard switch, your passenger airbag icon, and down here below you actually have a very more simplified version of Hyundai's single zone climate control system. Go ahead and move this out of the way for just a second so you can see it. You have the temperature button here in the center, or in the left hand side. Your display shows up top here on the screen. And you've also got automatic air conditioning. If you were to push the button, you got front and rear defroster. You've got 2 stage heated seats for both the driver and passenger, as these are leather bound seats. Over here on the right hand side, air conditioning recycling and exterior air conditioning, the other heated seat for the passenger, air conditioning controls, and your fan speed for the right hand side knob. We'll go ahead and leave it on just a bit. It is a bit warm outside today. Now, as far as the shifter here for this 8-speed automatic, you have this beautiful gloss black piano veneer running around the entire gate and shifter itself, with all of your blue illuminated numerics here, a nice bit of silver accent running around, and also this beautiful sort of dark gray brush trim that pretty much runs all the way from just underneath the radio right down to around the shifter and ending right here at the cup holder. As far as the shifter itself, unlike a lot of the more basic models, you have this beautiful polished silver piece here with a little bit of chrome accenting, and a full leather trimmed shifter knob with a nice curvaceous shape and a small little chrome trigger here on the back. As far as the cup holders themselves, very basic. You can fit just about anything in there. You can see one is a little bit bigger than the other, so no big deal there. Single tier center console. And again, like the 2-liter model we showed you, this car kind of has a little bit of an emergency backup. If your proximity key fob, say, were to run out of batteries here, and the vehicle would not recognize it or whatever, you still can use this vehicle. You can see that the key has these 2 little ridges on each side of the key fob itself. All you have to do, just insert it into the slot, push it in. You see the key fob's in there nice and snug. And basically that is the same as putting a key in the ignition and turning it. This will allow the vehicle to recognize the key fob, and it will also allow the vehicle to start. If you want to retract it, just push on it. You can see it releases the key fob, no problem at all. And you also have another little cigarette lighter style power outlet in there as well. All wrapped in a nice bit of stitched leather, nice and plush. Now, as far as aesthetics go in the whole interior of this vehicle, it's typical what you'd expect of a much more upscale vehicle. Although there are a few hard touch plastics in here, there are a lot of these soft grain Little bit firmer style, but they do have a little bit more of a rubber-like consistency to them, especially like here in the glove box. You've got beautiful stitched leather and padding going all the way across the dashboard here. You can see the stitching running all the way up the passenger side of the vehicle. This whole top part of the center console, it has a little bit of give to it as well. Not really so much in the way of plastics in this car. I'm actually amazed. There's not too much. The gauge binnacle itself is quite hard, but also here on the door, a little bit more hard touch plastics for like the surrounds on the switches, your matte finish door handles, a little bit more leatherette style padding up here on the door, a full leather padded door panel right here, and also a nice piece of leather down here just below the door panel here. Also a nice bit of polished silver there as well. Now, one thing this car is missing, for those of you who are curious, it does not have any of those cup holders here in the doors. Unlike some of the four-door vehicles we may have looked at before that have that, this vehicle does not, and for good reason. With a high-performance car, chances are you're probably not going to want to put your big soda can or whatever down here in the door. You're most likely going to want to put it right here in the center. Now, looking up, like I said, this one has the one-touch power folding and sliding sunroof. There you go. Also, your standard map lights, sunglasses compartment. Also, a nice little illuminated vanity mirror. Nice little light up top. Also, this has a small little extension in it if you need to block out the sun. And overall, what you're looking at is pretty much Hyundai's aim to land a very big punch right in the center of one of the most competitive markets in the automotive industry, which is the high-performance sports car market. But if you really want bang for buck in a car costing under $40,000 with over 345 horsepower, you're pretty much spoilt for choice. This car, if you were to look at it from a comparison standpoint, competes headlong with things like the Nissan 370Z and so on. However, this car has more power than the 370Z, with the 370 having only about 330, this having 350. So it's all about matter of personal taste, but definitely this is the best bang for buck sports car two-door vehicle that you can buy on the market that is under about $40,000 or so. But with all that being done, viewers, let's go ahead and turn off the engine. Very simple. And now that we've done all that, let's go ahead and check out the rest of the Genesis Coupe. Now, the proximity key fob can be used to open the trunk. Just hold down the third button. Simple as that. Got the standard cargo net here. You can also see underneath. The whole rear seat actually does fold down, and it opens up that nice little pass-through in there. You can just pull the trigger here. See, that unlocks the seat. Got these very heavily bolstered seats. Let's go ahead and get in the back first. You can see the seat just slides forward normally. Now, if you step inside the rear of the Genesis Coupe, it's not what you would call commodious, especially for people over about 6'1". I'm actually at 6'1". You can see my head is pressing against the rear glass, and I'm sitting in a position I would consider normal. So back here, if you're over about 6 foot tall, you're probably not going to fit, but at the same time, this really is more of a two-seater car than a four-seater car. But looking forward, you can see the seat doesn't fold all the way back. You have to use the little ratchet on the side, but neither here nor there. It does have a little bit of back seat room, so you can probably put like children or someone of smaller size back here. But if you want to lower the seat, you just pull on the rear latch, fold it forward, and you have to pull that back, then pull the seat back all the way, and there you go. Now, as far as standard safety features on the Genesis Coupe, you're also pretty much spoilt for choice. You also have dual stage front impact airbags for both the driver and passenger, side curtain and side impact airbags in both sides of the vehicle, and also pre-seat belt tensioners, electronic stability control, and ABS as just a few of the options on the list. Now, stepping into the passenger side of the Genesis Coupe, it's pretty much what you'd expect from a two-door sports car. Plentiful amounts of legroom. I can stretch my legs almost all the way out. Plentiful amounts of seat room as well. I'm nice and hugged, especially with these big, thick bolsters here on the side. And overall, the Genesis Coupe actually feels of a very high quality. They've definitely done a very good job with the 13 and 14 Genesis Coupes. In conclusion, if somebody out there is looking for a premium two-door sports car that offers over 340 horsepower and also offers pretty decent gas mileage for a big engine, and you want track-ready performance with a track-tuned suspension, the track-tuned power steering, and everything straight out of the box for under $40,000, the Genesis Coupe 3.8 Ultimate and also all of the 3.8 liter models should definitely be on the list of most buyers. So viewers, I hope you've enjoyed this rather in-depth look at the 2014 Hyundai Genesis Coupe 3.8 Ultimate. If you wish to contact or find out more information about the Genesis Coupe, please feel free to contact your local Hyundai dealer, or if you're here in the local Houston area, visit one of our 3 stores here at Humble Hyundai on Interstate 59 North, North Freeway Hyundai on Interstate 45, or Baytown Hyundai in Southeast Houston off of Interstate 10. And visit also their websites according to their namesake. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the review. I'll see you guys later.